Well, let's take the case of Nicola Sturgeon, the Scottish Prime Minister, the previous Scottish Prime Minister. Any man who wants to can be a woman. It's like, okay, any man. You mean any man, do you? Yeah. Have you encountered the nightmare men? Oh, they don't exist. They're all victims. Yeah. You just bloody well wait till you encounter one. You'll change your story very rapidly. And for the naive and sheltered empaths of the radical left, they're either psychopaths, so they're wolves in sheep clothing, or they're people that are so naive that the what would you say, Red Riding Hood's grandmother can definitely have his way with them.
Yes, that's literally something that I use as an example in my Netflix special. I said that I think there are people that feel like they're trapped in a woman's body, and then there's also people that are out of their fucking mind. They're crazy, and that
they're
all
not
throughout
just
history.
crazy.
But what I pointed out all throughout history, when you wanted to make like a killer in a movie scarier, you put him in a dress, like Norman Bates in Psycho, Silence of the Lambs, and I used the Big Bad Wolf. I'm like, it's literally a wolf dressed up like a woman. Like, that's literally what it is. And they've somehow or another completely abandoned this one aspect of masculinity that's one of the more terrifying, is the predatory pervert. And they've given the predatory pervert a privileged position.
Right.
And that's
That's Eve's sin, by the way.
One of the craziest things about it is they've completely abandoned the idea of the pedophile and then the monster and the sexual pervert, and the attacker, the assaulter, the person who, when you give a guy, you say, all you have to do is say you're a woman. Now you have access to whatever women's spaces. Yeah. All the women's spaces. You could victimize them. You could fight them. You could beat them in sports. You could dominate them in all games. It's bizarre. Bizarre that no one's caught on to that. And that's
for sure.
That's the weirder, that's the more cult-like and even, you could say, religious aspect of leftist thinking.
It's an original sin. Eve clutches the serpent to her breast. Ooh. It's like, that's a serpent.
Right.
It's poison. Yeah. You don't get to love it.
Right.
Right. It's a monster.
Right.
Right.
It's a guy wearing a dress with an erection in the women's room.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Or worse.
Yeah. Or worse.
Or worse.
Yeah. Or a lot worse. Yeah.
Well, right. And there are no shortage of naive people who've never really encountered a monster and have no imagination for it.
But there's also people that are willing to justify the monster's behavior because the monster's a part of a protected class now.
Yeah, well, that's part of that.
Which is crazy.
Well, the cluster B types use proclamation of victimization to parasitize. That's part of their clinical pathology.
And they're
Poor me, I get to do anything.
And they're so common.
Yeah.
That's what's really crazy. And why is it that academia is overwhelmed by people like this? Is it because it's vulnerable to parasites?
Sure, why not? It was a storehouse of unguarded value.
Without any religious principles.
Well, also, there's that too, and with no real gatekeepers. You know? And so, like the parasite problem is a very deep problem. It could also be, Joe, and I might as well get in trouble for this too.
Let's go.
Well, because women are more agreeable, they're more prone to manipulation by psychopaths because their primary ethos is nurturing.
Yeah.
For a naive woman, every victim is a baby. It's like, fine, 90% of them are victims. You could even say that about criminals. You go to a run-of-the-mill prison, and there's going to be people in there, and you heard their lives, you think, oh my God, no wonder.
Right.
And then there's another core group that's like, oh, I see who you are. You're if I saw inside your skull for 5 seconds, I'd have post-traumatic stress disorder. I'd never recover. Right? Those people don't exist. It's like, yes, they exist.
Yeah, they exist.
Yeah, and they're very good at crying like infants.
Yeah.
Right. And then the naive mothers come flooding out. The women dominated the universities from the 1960s onward. It's like, in come the parasites, and they're enabled And what
One
are
of
they
the more
enabled by?
fascinating things to me is when parasites are confronted and they laugh. Like one of the things about academic parasites, when you challenge their beliefs,
That's contempt.
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're talking about. I saw this with the anti-Semitism on campus thing, when these women were confronted by these statements like "death to the Jews" on campus, and whether or not this is hate speech. And I saw it with I believe it was Josh Hawley was
Yeah.
the woman he was saying some women can give birth and some men can give birth as well, like some men have period, like this kind of like, and with I guess this line of questioning is very transphobic and opens people up to violence, with a laugh, with a laugh and a smile, a diminishing of your position by mockery.
It's contempt, yeah.
When what they're saying doesn't make any fucking sense to anybody rational, but they're so embedded in this system that they really believe that they have the kind of control over Congress that they have over their classmates. This is like standard behavior for them, mocking and dismissing other ideas that are counter to theirs.
Right. Well, and there's plenty of reward for that disseminated in the universities.
Yes.
Right? And so that's part of their...
How do you fix that?
With
Or
Peterson
can you?
Academy.
Yeah.
No, I'm dead serious,
I believe
man.
you. I believe you.
It's not like I'm thrilled about the fact that Harvard is having a war with Donald Trump. And I'm less thrilled with the fact that I hope Donald Trump wins. I worked at Harvard. It was a great place. I'm not happy at all that these institutions have become what they've become. And if I could see a way forward to revitalizing them, then, but what are you going to do? Like, the administration took over the universities and parasitized the tuition fees and the tax dollars. Then the woke mob parasitized the administration. And here we are. Now, what are you going to do about that? All these tenured professors who are progressive, and they're way less progressive than the administrators. You're going to fix that? How? Even in principle.